Welcome to the Mystic Psychology Podcast. I am really happy that you are here in the space where your spirit meets your everyday life and your energy becomes your guide. I'm Charlotte and I'm here to walk beside you as you reconnect with your truth, your intuition, and the deeper layers of who you truly are. Welcome to this episode of Mystic Psychology Podcast. My name is Charlotte. I am very happy if you're here again today. If you don't know me, then I am the founder of the Mystic Psychology Academy. I am intuitive, a channel medium, and I teach energy work. I combine the unseen worlds with the seen. So I bring together mysticism, energy work, and all this unseen with the psychology to integrate it in everyday life. In today's episode, I really want to share with you about Reiki and how it is that we are actually already doing energy work all our life and in everyday life, but we're just not aware of it. I want to go into everything about Reiki from where it started to what it is and how you can use it and how my perspective is on it, because I feel very different about Reiki than most people do. And I see it in a very new and updated version of how it used to be. So many, many years ago, I was trying to find something in my life that made the unseen more tangible for me, because I was very intuitive, but I was working in corporate world and in this masculine energy and in this achieving and reaching and goals and all that. But actually, I knew there was something in me that was different than that wanted to be explored. And it was in so many ways that it showed up. It was my intuition. It was about noticing things and people. It was, it was about the tingling in my hands where I had the feeling, I think they can heal. Then it was that sometimes I just wanted to put my hand on somebody and I didn't know why, but I had the feeling it would support them. And I felt that we are all kind of connected, but I didn't have a tool to connect with that and to give me a space to explore that. And I was looking for something like that. And I knew my aunt from many, many years ago practiced Reiki. And she lived in Malaysia over 30 years and taught Reiki and meditation and energy work there. And I called her and I said, listen, I know you're doing this. And actually, I'm interested in years, but I was too shy and I was too insecure to ask you. But actually, I really want to learn this. And she said to me, do you mean it serious? Really, really serious? Because I'm not going to teach you energy work just to, because it's a 1 day idea. And I said, yeah, I really, really mean it serious. And I booked my flight to Malaysia. And we took 2 weeks for the initiation 1 and 2 into Reiki. And in that time, it was really a new world that opened up to me. And it felt like coming home. It felt like such a relief in my body because I could finally feel what I was looking for. It was kind of this thing of relaxation and like, maybe you know that feeling when you finally are at this point where you know there's truth. And in my first session, I felt like how light went through me, all through my body, into my hands, and I was guided through the whole session. I knew exactly what to do. And there was this tingling all over my body, warmth in my body. And it was such an intuitive, guided way, and it felt so connected to something higher. And I felt home, and I felt, yeah, in my essence, actually. So I knew that there was something bigger behind this, and it was just the first step. And in my time in Malaysia, I even went into giving energy work to stones, to people, to trees, to nature, to places. And it was discovering that everything is energy, and that everything surrounding me was like, had a different, yes, a different frequency, a different energy that I could explore, and I could finally see it and feel it. And it was such a beautiful feeling. Really, I felt so connected. And this is what it really is about, because I think we, or feel that we all do that. We are all always working with energy, but we're not aware of it because we're energetic beings. And not only are we energetic beings, but everything is energy. And even Albert Einstein said it, everything is energy. So if everything is energy, I wondered, why have we never learned to actually work with energy? Why is it that we don't explore that into the depths? Because if everything is energy, that means I can start shaping my life, creating my life after energy. And this is also when my perspective started to change over time, seeing things in energy and what they truly are, because energy never lies. People can tell you everything, and maybe even that. It's like people say something to you, but then you have this inner feeling it's not true, or maybe it's true. And then you feel that. So you actually feel the energy of what they're saying, if it is true or not true. And the same thing is when you come into a room and you feel the people, you feel uncomfortable or comfortable, it's because you feel the energy. Or if you meet a friend and you're drained after that meeting, or you're very hyper and active and, happy and blissful, it's because you were exchanging energy. So we live in an energetic world, and we're constantly exchanging energy with our surrounding, and we're constantly creating through energy. And it's not even something that comes from an esoteric woo-woo thing, but it's also that science proves it more and more, that everything is energy. And there will be a different podcast about that, quantum science and epigenetics and all these fields that are already proving that everything is energy. So because we are human beings, of course, we don't need a method. We could literally just start working, become conscious and aware of energy. But because we're human beings, and because our mind is doubting and is looking for safety and looking for a step-to-step way to start to work or become aware of something, we use methods. And Reiki is one method that helps to become aware how to work with energy. And Reiki was founded about 100 years ago from Dr. Ushui in Japan. And he was a monk who was meditating for 21 days. And in these meditation, he became aware of this method, or he channeled this method. And then he brought it to the world. He opened a clinic, and he passed it on to two of his prominent students, which were Dr. Hayashi and Mrs. Takata, who spread it then to the rest of the world. And this method is nothing religious, or it's not about anything that you have to believe in. It's just about universal energy. And actually, Reiki means universal energy. And literally everything is universal energy. I mean, every tree, every table, every chair, maybe you're sitting on a chair, maybe you're walking on the street, everything is energy. So it's about starting to learn how you can actually work with that. And Reiki has two parts to it, actually. It has a physical and a non-physical part. And most people who know Reiki already are more aware of the physical parts because it's mostly what is spread, but it's not the only part. And Reiki is actually transmitted as a person becoming a channel for universal life energy, which also means that people are not transmitting their own energy. Because many people ask me that. They're like, well, but then you must be drained after a session. You must be really tired. No, because I'm not working from my energy. I'm working from source energy. And I learn how to connect to source energy in order to let that energy run through me. And that has nothing to do with myself. So when working with Reiki, you become this channel, and you can imagine like a toaster that is tucked into a energy socket. And the energy flows through the cable into the toaster. And then it becomes hot, and the toast gets toasted and gets this energy. It's the same way with Reiki. You learn how to tuck in to the socket of source energy. And then it is transmitted by the hands. So this universal energy flows through the hands onto the body or into the energy field of the body when working physically. And the person there who's laying there actually takes the energy they or this person needs at this moment. So it's actually not about the person giving energy, who's deciding what to do with it, but more the person who's there subconsciously uses this energy for the best way this person needs it. And this has a lot of benefits. I mean, you can transform sicknesses, you can release blocks, you can release stress and anxiety, you can regulate the nervous system, and you can raise the frequency of your energy field, which is important if you want to come into this flow state, if you want to become more ease or have more ease in your life. So it's all these benefits that Reiki gives in the physical form. And also you can give it to yourself. So it's not even that you have to give it to somebody, but it also benefits for yourself by doing it for yourself. For example, I do it every day on myself just to regulate my nervous system, to become more centered, and to become more clear during the day and have a more stable energy throughout the day. So when I look at my participants, lots of them have, after learning Reiki, they have this feeling of being more clear in their life, having a more flow state in their life, or they have the feeling that they have more peace and they understand what their energy is, but I'm coming to that later. The second part of Reiki, and this is the part that is not so well known, is the part of distant Reiki or Reiki in the quantum field. And Reiki in the quantum field is basically that you can send Reiki anywhere because we are in an energetic field, so everything is connected, and then you can send Reiki to places, people, animals, nature, beings, living and dead beings. Basically, you can do anything with it. That's bottom line, because everything is universal energy. So you can start working generally with energy. And this is the third part of Reiki. and this is what I see very different than many other people that work with Reiki or teach Reiki, is that it's also the gateway to your essence. Because the way, for example, I see methods in general or Reiki is that it's a support finding your unique way, your truth, your authenticity in working with energy. Because I think we're going into a time where it's not about being restrained to methods, but using them to find our truth, because it's about ultimately living your authentic way and your truth. And maybe you know that when you learn something like a method, and then you go back into your daily life and you stop doing it, or you stop using it, or it's not useful for you anymore because it's not aligned to your essential energy. And that's why you are not using it. So I believe it's about finding your unique way through Reiki to work with energy. And this happens automatically because when you work as a channel, so you are becoming a channel for universal energy, then on one side, you have that universal energy, which is source energy and neutral. But then there's this other side, and that is you, the channel. So you can imagine it this way. If you have like a tunnel, and this tunnel, you can go through it. And the tunnel is the channel, and what goes through it is the universal energy. But the tunnel has its unique own way of being a tunnel. Not every tunnel is the same. So depending what tunnel there is, it will affect the way the energy will transmit through you. So for example, I have a client, Monica. She was always drawn to nature, and she said she would love to work with nature because it's like something where her heart expands, and it actually is her nature to work with nature. So when she started working with Reiki, she started also sensing the frequency and energies of herbs, of trees, of plants, and that transmitted also in her work. I had another client who's very visionary, and she had a lot of visions while working with energy. So her tunnel is visionaries having visions, working with animals. Then I had another client. She is more in that space, in this Buddha state. So in a very silent, meditative state. And her channel is really bringing through that universal energy in a silence, in a peaceful way, in nothingness. So what I'm trying to say is that everybody is very different as being in being a channel. And it really depends how that energy moves then through you. And this is what Reiki enables you, because once you start working with that energy, then you start also noticing, how does it want to move through me? Now, why is that important? Because once you know how the energy wants to move through you, it means you're becoming your authentic self. Because you're starting to realize how things move through you, how life moves through you, how your daily life moves through you. Because energy work is a mirror of how you are in your daily life. So this gives you the possibility to turn inwards, to connect to your essence, to connect to who you really are, to connect to something higher, to connect to life energy, and then work from inside out. And this changes your life massively. It changed my life massively, because I started working from a different place. I was not working anymore from what do I have to achieve, what is expected from me, but rather from what wants to move through me. Now that takes time. I'm aware. With me, it was like a process. Like with everything is a process. Nothing comes overnight. Just like, okay, tomorrow I'm enlightened. Well, maybe some few people in this world have that, but generally it's a process of developing these skills more and more time after time and expanding into them. So Reiki gives you the possibility to work on a physical level, on a quantum field and distance healing level. And what I see differently, it gives you the possibility to enter your unique way with working with energy, which is working with life. So Reiki has a lot of benefits. And I think this is important to say because the benefits are so massively, if we work with it regularly, that it releases our stress, our anxiety. It regulates our nervous system. It connects us to our essence. It connects us to our intuition. It gives the possibility of healing, releasing and transforming blockages, raising our frequency in such a simple way. And once you become aware of it, my God, I'm telling you, life is so magical and things start to happen you can't even imagine. And does it take discipline? Of course it does. If you don't train that muscle, if you just go to the gym one day, it won't work. But if you train the muscle of energy and connecting to energy and working with energy, then your life will change in a way you've never imagined that life would be like. So I want to invite you to feel into it what energy means for you. And where in your life are you already experiencing these sensations of intuition, of I am knowing something, I am feeling something, I have a tingling in my body. I notice when I come into a room how it feels like. Because all these things are already the sign that you are ready to work with it in a more aware and conscious way. I would love to know your thoughts about this topic, questions you have. So please just leave me a comment below or write me an email if you want, or come in contact to me through any of my pages, Instagram, Facebook. I would love to hear your thoughts about it. And I wish you a wonderful day. I see you, I hear you, and I feel you. Thank you for being here, for your time, for listening, and showing up for your own personal path. If something touched you today, share it with someone who needs to hear it too. And make sure to subscribe and get my weekly newsletter. You can always go deeper at mystic-psychology.com or find me on Instagram. I'd really love to connect to you in person, read your comments and messages. So until next time, stay close to your soul and trust what you feel, follow your intuition, and I can't wait to connect with you again.